Hi everybody, my name is Mike and this is my first drum lesson video. Thank you for joining me and welcome. Today I'm going to teach you the 4/4 rock beat for a few reasons. First of all, it's the foundation of most popular music. You hear it on the radio, almost every single song. Most of the stuff you'll listen to in your private life, if you're too cool for the radio music, it's still going to be in a 4/4 time signature. And it's all based around this beat, which I'm going to teach you. It's a very versatile beat. It's incredibly useful in so many different genres of music, and flat out fun to play. And the first time I ever nailed it down and got it to sound good, I just felt like a superhero, and it was a pretty special moment. And yeah, I'd like to be able to give you that same feeling. And once you get this basic formula down, the progression and the next steps as far as creating new and interesting drum beats, it's all built off of this structure. So once you have this, the world is yours as far as drums, particularly in a band setting. So what I'm going to do is play the 4/4 rock beat, and then we'll break it down into its individual components and teach you how to play it. So here we go. Alright, so that's how that sounds, and you may recognize it from almost everything you've ever heard. So let's go ahead and break down how it works. Okay, this is called a 4/4 rock beat because it's in a 4/4 time signature. What that means is 4/4 time signature means 4 quarter notes in each measure. This is a measure, and there will be 4 counts in each of these measures. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now what I'm playing on the hi-hat is actually 1/8 notes, which means I will play the hi-hat twice for each count. And the way to remember to count that, so you can keep it in mind and use it, is to add an "and" after every number that you mentally speak. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. On the hi-hat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you're hitting the hi-hat 8 times each measure. Okay, I'll show you what that sounds like. You always want to remember to count as a drummer. Your most important job is to keep time for the rest of the band. You are the foundation and the backbone. And if you go off time, everybody sounds worse. So it's very important that you are rock solid and keep time perfectly, or as close to perfect as you can. And after 20 years of playing, I'm still trying to perfect it. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Now we're going to go ahead and incorporate our bass drum. That's this big guy down here. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit the bass drum every time you count 1 and every time you count 3. So it'll sound like this. Boom, tick, 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 boom, tick, tick, tick. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, let me demonstrate that for you. Let's go a little slower so you can see the individual parts. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 4. Okay? Almost there, guys. The next component and the final in this basic rock beat is the snare drum. We have our eighth notes on the hi-hat. We know how to count. And we're adding our bass drum on 1 and 3. So now we're going to add our snare drum on 2 and 4. Okay? So to count it, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Let me demonstrate that for you. Okay, that's it. That is the foundation for all rock and roll. And again, the versatility of this beat is such that it applies to many different kinds of music. For example, if you wanted to play something a little more up-tempo, like a harder rock, you just play it a little faster, but it's the same exact components. Okay. Let's say you wanted to do more of like a hip hop tempo. Okay, so and most of the songs you'll hear on the radio are between that second one that was slower and the first one which was faster in tempo. After listening to this, you should be able to go back and listen to your music and hear it incorporated in a large majority of it. So that's the foundation there. What I want to do now is talk a little bit about a couple variations on this formula to add a little flavor to your drumming and just some ways to change things up so you don't get bored. First thing I'm going to do is switch from 8th notes on the hi-hat to 16th notes. And as it might suggest, you'll hit the hi-hat 16 times in a measure instead of 8. So twice as many times. And it'll just add a little more flavor to your drumming. So what I'll do is begin by playing the beat we already learned, and then I will just add the 16th notes on the hi-hat so you can see the difference. Ready? Here come the 16th notes. Another way to do that is to play all the 16th notes with your right hand. That might free up your left hand to do some accents and things like that. And the way you do that is like this. Slowed down, that is. 1, relatively simple way to change things up is to add a second bass note. And we're going to put it right after 1. Remember, we've been playing the bass drum on 1 and 3. We're going to have a hit on 1 and then a second hit on and right after 1 and before 2. That'll sound like this. And I'll play it straight on the 1 the first time through, and then the 2 hits the second time through. Okay, watch my play. Okay, so that adds a little flavor to a piece of music. Let's see. Also, there's a thing you can do on the bass drum that involves a bit of syncopation, which is essentially an offbeat. So on this go around, I will play the bass drum straight like we learned, and then on the second time through, I will play on the upbeats. And just to give you a sense of what that sounds like. Ready? So there are some syncopated hits along with the downbeats. It always kind of comes around to that downbeat on 1. Let's see. What else could we incorporate to make this more interesting? Let's try a basic fill. So I will play 3 measures of the straight drum beat, and then I will incorporate a fill. So every 4 measures, there's usually room for a fill or some kind of accent to bring you around to the next set of measures. Musically, it seems to work very well. So an example of that would be like this. Okay, so I think that should cover things for now. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm very pleased and happy to be able to share this knowledge with you, and I wish you a long and happy drum career. Thanks for your time. Bye.